this week on Stay Out of My Fridge.
AI is a steam train coming down, locomotive coming down the tracks.
Sure.
And you better be ready or you're going to get hit. We found a 50,000-year-old bison frozen in the mountains. It was about, I guess, 1984 is when they found it. And you know what they did to it? They thawed it out, took some of its neck muscle, made it into a stew, and ate it. How AI is just literally your crazy uncle who chain smokes cigarettes and drinks 25, you know what I mean?
Yeesh. There's moms on this app. Easy. What's the worst that's going to happen if you take a bite? You get some diarrhea? You're probably not going to die. Hawk, Jayhawks. What's up, Brandon?
Rock hard big. Oh, how's it going, buddy?
They probably do that. It's going good. It's going good. A lot better than Euban. Unfortunately, I think it's unfortunately, but unfortunately, Euban has a pretty sick kid and had to deal with the pukies in the middle of the night. And we're both parents. We've both dealt with it. That is the one thing I truly don't like being a parent when the poor kids, they're helpless, they're tough, but having to clean up all the puke, not a big fan of it.
I'm a weak stomach kind of guy. And like what I've need to work on as a parent is like when my daughter's like running away to the other, like, get away from me, you smell like vomit. And like at that moment they want to be like consoled, and I'm like, no, go away, you're gross. Oh. And my wife's
go see
like,
mommy.
You're gonna you're gonna give them some sort of problem. And I'm like, problem? They just vomited on themselves. That's the problem.
It's not my fault that they puke. Usually when they puke, I take the sheets, the bedding, everything. I throw it right in the tub, fill it full of water, let it rinse, pull it out, and then think it's always a good idea. And the next thing you know, you're left with all the resemblance of said thing in the strainer. And I'm like, this was a terrible idea.
Let's stop.
Let's move on from that one. But either way, all kidding aside, Euban, hopefully they get better quick. And sorry to you to have to deal with that. And but either way, he'll be back next week as well. And it's the end of June. Things are crazy. At least in here, we're going to have some new friends of the show next month, too, which is going to be fun, hopefully.
It's going to be exciting. Can you believe it? Halfway through the year. What?
Yeah. And for places like where I live, halfway through the summer.
Oh, my God. So, like, first of all, take advantage of it as much as you can. But, like, dude, we talk about this all the time. Like, when you get older, like, time just doesn't take as much time anymore. And I think it's because we're in that mindset of we're working for the weekend. Mm-hmm. We're working for the day off. We're working for the vacation. We're working for the break. And we go into, now that we're not in, like, adolescent mind mode, we're in cruise control a lot of times.
Yeah.
When you're in cruise control, you're not taking a lot of those memories that you get and storing them for like long. So you're not like creating memories. You're like, okay, I'm at work. Okay, 5 o'clock, go home. Now it's Tuesday. Now it's holy shit. Where did June go?
Yeah,
it's wild, man.
It's wild. We're kind of like an Amish horse. They just work. They know how to get home. It's just repeat, go, and even like driving to work. Sometimes, thankfully, I have a much quicker drive. But when I was driving a lot farther, all of a sudden I'd like get in the car and I'm like, wow. I'm at work. I wasn't sleeping, but I was just so zoned out and just like, work again. It's a weird thing. Whoever created this, I know Dolly Parton started the 9 to 5 song or whatever it is. Whoever created this 5-day work week, you suck. Well, you couldn't have done like 3 to 4 weeks, and then every once in a while you get a holiday like July 4th coming up, and you only work like 4 days or whatever, and it's like, man, this is good. You got a little pep in your step. You go in there the next week, and it's and school is just getting out for us this week when this is out. School's just getting out, and all I'm talking like Euban. I'm not sure exactly when they get out for you, but they're like, you're still in school.
So not summer school, like actual school.
Actual school, yeah. Because
why? Because
we don't start till first or second week of September.
Oh, okay. We start mid-August.
Yeah, so we start later than everybody else, and because they added the Juneteenth holiday, and with the snow days, it actually put it over like a day or two, so they have to actually go an extra week now instead of there. So it's kind of one of those things. You get that you still go the same amount. I'm assuming you guys go right around. They go 180 days in New York.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
Thanks, New York State Department of Education.
Yeah, look at me. I went through it all, and I'm just fine. But Yeah, I don't know. Probably the same thing in Vermont, I would imagine. And I'm actually thinking about taking the wife for an anniversary to Vermont. And I don't. You've probably never been that far east, but Vermont is just, breweries everywhere, laid back people. And I think we're just going to find a couple Airbnbs, just hit up a couple of different towns, just, go to some breweries, listen to some live music, and just kind of get away for a couple of days. And I'm hoping to go stop by the Vermont flannel place and maybe take some pictures and see some of those people too. So I'm pretty excited about that one. If you guys want, you guys go to vermontflannel.com, use code BeardLaws24. I bet you won't. It's not really like overly flannel season, so I get why a lot of people aren't going and buying them yet, but summer's going to be almost over, and they got those lightweight flannels. I'm going to buy one, I think, this week. I think I told you about it. They're 4.1 ounces. The t-shirt you're wearing is probably 4.5 to 4.8, so they made an actual lightweight flannel, and they just came out with a brewery. I think I got a Maine. Not exactly sure, but it's a cool color concept. So when I get one, I'll let everybody know about it. If it's lightweight and hot, it doesn't get too hot up here, but sometimes, once in a while. But so last week we were kind of talking backstage. We talked about AI music, and hopefully I didn't get you addicted to it, which you might have got a little addicted, because I know I create at least my 5, and then I have a couple other emails that I use just because more inspiration comes up.
I paid the $10 and
Did you?
I got the 2,500, and I rolled through like 600 of those motherfuckers.
It goes quick, isn't it?
Oh my god! But I've done I'll prompt it, and then I'll say create more, because I want to create at least 10 to 15 songs to see what the best is.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you find by doing that it evolves into something better eventually, or does it kind of stay where they are? Because I tried that the first day I did it. I forget what the song was, but it just kind of changed lyrics, but it didn't get overly better, if that makes sense.
I had to your point, I had to change styles. So yeah. I always put, now what I put is, if I want it to be a silly song, I put comedic. So like comedic rock or comedic pop. So you can do anything, but sometimes I'll say 80s rock anthem, which is what I did for the song I created. Mm-hmm. And then or we did 90s new metal. We were doing and it was some of them were you could tell it was like a computer voice, but others are wow, this sounds like freaking, I had the song I made sounded like Great Slick from Jefferson Airplane. It sounded like
do you have your Suno, do you have any of the songs that you made public so people can go and see them, or do you want to show the video? You can send a link.
Yeah, let me do that if that's all right with you.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, last night we were sitting around. We only had one of the 3 kids last night, and it's the youngest one. And I'm like, why? Let's make a song. Every once in a while, she's like, all right. So we just watched the movie Annie, the newer one.
Any good?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah. I mean, what I did like, and the wife agreed, is they kept all the songs, but they kind of modernized them a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. It was watchable. I wasn't sitting there the whole time wanting to bash my head off the table or the wall or anything, but it was all right. Yeah. I mean, she loved it, so she naturally said, let's create a song about a kid who lost her family and then finds a new one and gets a dog. And I'm like, oh, where'd you get that idea? It's kind of like Annie. And I started playing it, and I'm like, this isn't bad. And it was called Found My Home. And it was pop, jazz, hip hop. So I was like, oh, here, I'll let me play the one. I'm trying to there was one that was like you said was, I think it was this one. We'll try this one real quick. Here we go. I think it was this one. So let me know if you can hear it all right.
Now look at me, funny girl with glee. Spend my days just searching, found my place to be. Had a dog named Charlie, funny and so gnarly.
I don't think the dog's name's Charlie.
Free, now we're family. Found my home, oh, finally. With my dog, it's destiny. Laughed and cried, we danced alone. In this place where we belong.
Who would have thought you can pair pop, jazz, and hip hop and talk about potentially a movie that was popular?
Yeah, that's wild. But it's. I mean, the first thing I did was I made a song about my daughter.
Yep.
Called Dadder-Day, you know, and like it's wild.
It is.
Like, oh my God, brought a tear to my eye. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I made a song a while back that was something about like time's moving too fast with the kids and all this stuff, and it was like super sad. And I'm like, yep, we're gonna be done with the serious stuff here.
Right.
For some reason, I'm trying to pull this up, but just having issues logging into the Facebook. There we go. Stupid Facebook sometimes. All right. So this is a video that Brandon did using an AI song, and I thoroughly enjoyed this, and hope you guys do too. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
Sweet transitions. Sheesh, there's moms on this app. Easy. Oh yeah. It's perfect.
So silly. But like, for my first thing is like, I'm always trying to, this may seem like anybody who watches this show or knows the work that you do or I do, or anybody you have on this show does, because these content creators that you know and have on the show, or any show that you have, are so good. This is our world, like creating content. But in the radio world, respectfully, nobody's doing stuff like this. Yeah. I can at least say in our state, nobody's doing stuff like this. Yeah, so like I thought to myself, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking like in my local places, you know what I mean? They don't really have, they're not pushing TikTok. They're not pushing video. They're not, you know what I mean? Like
there is a huge stick in the mud mentality of folks that are like, I'm on the radio and that's all I'm going to do. Well, you're going to die is what your career is going to go nowhere. So, but that's whatever. But so my thought was, okay, you brought this to me last week and I was like, huh, okay, yeah, whatever. And then I was like, what if I made a theme song? Like I could use it for the show. So I typed in Brandon J. McDermott, Party Line, KHAS Radio, Hastings, Nebraska, 8:30 a.m. weekdays. That was the prompt. And then I said 80s rock anthem. That was it. It created all of that from that.
So cool.
And then I thought to myself, I'm going to make a motherfucking music video.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a music video. And I did it in like 2 hours, dude. 2 hours. It took 2 hours of filming and like maybe 30 minutes of editing. But like that was gold. And I sent it to everybody in the company and they were like, holy shit, how did you do that? Like that is like, and like
it took me weeks and months. I've been preparing this actually since I moved here.
And the cool thing about it is since I have a subscription to it now, like I own and I can share that commercially because I own that as it's my property. Yeah. So that's in the TOS there. I looked at,
but I think even when you create the profile and you make them public, I thought
I don't know about that, but I do know that if you subscribe, it's yours. But like but so I was like, man, this is great. Like, this is the type of shit we should be doing as radio industry. And because we have to keep up with the times, and you have to be, look, we do shows every day, and I'm not trying to get into the woods here, but we do shows every day where it's like, oh, whose celebrity birthday is it? We're totally about current events. So why aren't we staying up to the current standard of what's going on with social media? Yep. And people are going to like just get out. In 5 or 10 years, you're going to see radio is going to be this. It's not just guys that are talking into a microphone. Microphones are important, but it's not just that. It's going to be people who are out in the community, like you're seeing me doing. Yep. It's going to be people who are doing wild shit, because that's something computers can't do right now, at least for the next 10 years.
I was going to say right now.
Be the person in the community that's going to be the MC at an event. That's going to be doing A, B, C, or D in the community. That's something that a robot can't do.
Yep. Even
that's another thing, is you're going to see robots take over a lot of radio jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, the automation. I mean, you can use AI to write code, let alone, potentially program and run this stuff, take calls, all that. But I mean, look at one of the bigger shows that I always remembered kind of growing up and listening was in Morning Home, was the Bob and Tom show. It was nationwide and stuff like that. And years ago, they are still on the radio, but they also do video. Are they out creating? I think they're putting out TikToks. Like, they know that they got to keep up with some stuff. So, I mean, it is the way of the world, whether you like it or not. You got to do it. Even comedians, they joke about it and bitch about it. Like, love having to do this special so I can clip out, 5 minutes and 30-second increments. But they realize it's going to lead to people going and watching and potentially buying the special. Same thing with radio. Like, when I started working at, offices and shops and, whether it was tech or whatever, there was people that had physical radios in their offices and they listened to the radio all day. When's the last time you've seen an industry or a business listening to an actual radio?
Yeah.
Maybe they stream. But
there's a lot of passive listening where they'll have it on, but there's not anybody that's like listening to what's coming out of it. They'll have it on the overspeaker or something like that. But to your point, I mean, like, look at Bert Kreischer, look at Mark Maron, look at the dude that works with Bert Kreischer, look at Bill Maher. All of them have podcasts that are outside of their stand-up, that are outside of their main shows. They all are doing podcasts. And podcasts, now, as you know, Matt, you live and breathe this shit every day, is this. It's not just the show. You're clipping it. You're using it for social media. You're taking the 3-minute bits of the dirty bits. You see what I did there? And you're gonna make that into a little clip to share on social media.
One of my favorite podcasts that I listen to weekly just announced they're on a hiatus. But if you listen to it, it doesn't sound like they're probably coming back. And there was a couple of them. And I think that, you know what I mean? What are we, 4 or 5 years out of COVID? I think this is when you start seeing a lot of the podcasts, whether they're celebrities or, a lot of the stuff where they just start declining. I really do think, that we saw the plateau. People saw the amount of work that it is for the little reward. And I think that was the driving factor. I mean, obviously, it was called Hey Babe. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was Sal Vulcano from Impractical Jokers, who also does comedy, and Chris whatever, I can never say his last name, Chrissy D, also a comedian. And then they had another one where they had another comedian, Joe. Was it Joe? I don't know, whatever. But one moved to Texas. They do their filming in New York. Sal just had a baby. You know what I mean? And life is just so crazy. They got to drive 2 hours one way to get to the studio. And they just, the energy, the give a shit factor, they're just, and to be honest, their views were so down. I don't think it was worth it to them anymore, because, that's their their livelihood, being a comedian, being on podcasts.
Yeah.
And, hitting the podcast circuit,
And that's the thing of life, dude. If you don't care, if your give a fuck factor is gone, or give a shit factor is gone, the quality of your product isn't going to be there, because passion makes everything better.
Yep. You could see it in them. They were just checked out. You know what I mean? The energy wasn't there. They were just slowly having a conversation, and it just, each week it was like, oh man, everybody could kind of see it coming, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I'm using that AI stuff for everything now. I mean, I'm using it for trying to create little. Here, I can try to show you one or two if you're interested.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of my brain where I was kind of thinking of some stuff too, like using it on, social medias, even in short form stuff, is instead of, probably doesn't do as well, You know what I mean? Say you're on TikTok or Instagram or something and you're using your own music. I wonder how, if it gets thrown into the algorithm as well as, you know, using a sound or an audio that they predetermine.
I know that Facebook specifically, and I know others probably too, are asking, is this AI? Like when you have to post now, it says, is there AI on this post? Because they want to let people know. Because you're seeing a lot of memes that we talked about several weeks ago, if not a couple months ago, of people sharing memes that are AI related.
Yep. Yeah, I know YouTube they have a thing, and it was more or less like, is a face or is a video altered in any way for AI? I think that's the biggest one. It doesn't seem overly concerned about, you know what I mean, the AI audio, at least that I've seen. Mostly the video, like, is there altered content? Which, I mean, I could see that thing, you know, if next thing you know, we're interviewing Bert Kreischer, who isn't Bert Kreischer, because we're able to come up with him in AI and sound and look a lot like him. Yeah, YouTube's going to probably shut that down, Facebook and all of those places, which, you know, rightfully so. It'd be probably, I would have to imagine if we were able to promote and advertise that we had Bert Kreischer on our show, people might try to watch it a little bit more.
Most definitely. So I want to show you this song I've got, if I can.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So we do this, and first of all, you'll love this, a new segment on the show called Thirsty Thursday, which is we bring in a local brewery to bring in a different beer every week, and we drink it for like 15 minutes live on the show.
I've never wanted to move to Nebraska more.
Dude, it's so fun. There's before, like about a year or two ago, Hastings was the only town in Nebraska outside of Omaha or Lincoln that had more than one local brewery. We have two in town, and we have a town of 25,000 people, so it's not the biggest place in the state. But anyway, so check this out. This is the one I chose. You can see I did several of them.
Yep.
Like I did several of them, but here's the one I chose. And you can hear that?
Yeah. Was it that one that you liked, or the thumbs up one?
No, it was this one.
Okay.
Well, wake up, Hastings, it's that time again. Tune in KHAS where the fun never ends. Brandon J. McDermott got the brews in hand. First Street Brewery coming to your land. Thirsty Thursday, I'll give me that cheer. Jumpstart your morning, different drinks right here. Beer, kombucha, coffee will make it clear. This is the spot where the best will appear.
So I took that and clipped it. And so, because like they give you four verses, a chorus, a bridge, and they repeat it and stuff. But I took chorus or verse, chorus, and then you can create an extended version of it that's just instrumental. And so I did instrumental, and I clipped it in Audition to where it's like 45 seconds of
just
instrument, so I can fade down and talk over the music, and it's kind of cool. So that you have to work with it a little bit, but still, like the way like that. If the hook is really good, like that one, like Thirsty Thursday, give me that, like, oh my God, that's catchy. It is. And like, I don't want to go out and pay. This is the thing, is like, and it's not just me, but I don't want to go out and pay $1,000 or whatever the price is for somebody to create a jingle in their home and then record it and then send it to me. Now I can do it for $10. So, I mean, this is, we want to talk about industries that are being ruined.
That's a big one. Yeah. See, I'm in the opposite. Like, I'm trying to come up with a song that has killer lyrics, has a great concept, and then I want to alter the lyrics, and then I want to like try to get to some of these bands that I know and be like, hey, came up with a song. This one could be good. This one right here, I don't know. There's a saying around here that my buddies always used to say, Jim and them, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. So I've been playing with this one over the last couple of days. That's not it.
Sun's about to rise above the hill. Clock's ticking, but my time stands still. Pour a little coffee in my cup, but it's whiskey that fills me up. Roosters crowing, it's a brand new day. Climb out of bed, no time too late. Sunshine in a bottle in my hand. This is how the day's gonna play. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. Forget the rules and heed the warning. First light, bring the bottles near. Morning buzz and the world so clear.
That's awesome.
Isn't it
So
wild?
I want to show you one too, if I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is different. This is. Remember, I told you I wanted to create a rap.
Yeah.
Well, I took a verse of the rap that I created and I threw it in there and I said, make it rap specific, and make it comedic and stuff like that.
Yep.
Why did I just lose it? I thought I had it here. God damn.
And while you're doing that, what I've been doing is I've been trying to see, because obviously, so for anybody that's curious about this, obviously this is something that we're super into. So if you're not nerdy and into the music, sorry about it. No, but what I've been trying to do, when you're creating it, you can't say create a song that's Taylor Swift, like Shake It Off or whatever, you know what I mean, or blend, two songs. You can't use specific songs. You can't use specific artists. But
yeah.
But I'm using this other website to say, hey, give me a 200-word description or less of the song, Taylor Swift, whatever. And then it'll break it down, female, whatever, with this. And it breaks, instruments. And it gives you a little bit of... So I have some examples, if I can find them, where I said something with, like, Blink-182, Beach Boys, Teenage Bottle Rocket, what was the other one? Green Day, I don't know what it is. But I was like, they kind of give you that vibe, but they're much different. And I'm like, okay. So... That's
awesome.
I've really been on a mission to try to like figure out how you can make something epic. You know what I mean? Like
awesome.
Even a song that it's fun.
All right, so check this out. So you can see the prompt I gave. Well, you can't, but anyway, check this out.
Snack attack.
Fat Daddy in the kitchen, mixing up a potion. Cookies on the counter, got the snacks in motion. Oreos, Tostitos, pizza in the freezer. 2 packs of fudge rounds, might as well please. Mama's holding it down, feeding the crowd. Snacks stacked high, got me feeling so proud. Capri Sun, waterfall splashing in the air. Fat Daddy running wild, snacks everywhere. Snack attack bonanza, rolling through the hood. Every hour waited, it's all good. From the chips to dips, soda pops on sips. Fat Daddy don't clown, got the lunch on grips.
So like just the silliest shit in the world, but like it's pretty good. Like if you give it like that, if you give it a verse that you want, it was going to give you the rest of the song based on the verse you sent, and it's not going to be too far off.
Yep. So this one, I did something like, give me something like Notorious B.I.G. or something like that, a song, and then broke it down, and it's like.
Every day, use kicks, broken dreams, dirty streets, opportunity scenes, locked doors, saw the hurting in mom's eyes. Now I'm eating steaks, go forth rich guys. Billy's on the block where we used to cry. The old me chasing change, now I'm hard to find. Garbage bags for curtains, yet I saw the light. Push through the struggle, we stayed up every night. Now I pop bottles, blinging on the wrist. Diamonds so bright, they couldn't be missed. Newfound fame, life tastes real sweet. Looking back at those days, nothing was neat. Came from nothing, now I'm living so plush. Pain turned to triumph, never felt such a rush. Poverty to power, broke days to towers. Once lost in darkness, now stand tall like ours.
Isn't that wild?
That's literally fucking juicy, isn't it?
Yep.
Like that
from rags to riches, but it's kind of torn there. Different concept, different this, and I'm like,
birthdays was the worst days. Now we drink champagne when we're thirsty, right?
Yeah,
Thursday.
Yep.
So like that's literally that song, dude. Like,
isn't that wild?
Yeah,
it was.
And there are going to be. I've already seen it on Facebook and Instagram and elsewhere. There's going to be people who are going to say, "This is not music. This is not art. This is bad. This is not just bad for my industry. This is bad for society." Is there truth there? I don't know. But you know what? You have to roll with the punches. You have to roll with the curveballs. And this is what's going to happen. There's no fighting against it. AI is a fucking steam fucking train locomotive coming down the tracks. Dude. And you better be ready or you're going to get hit.
Yep. I mean, in not only music, images, stuff like that, but Joe Rogan recently had on a guest who was a paraplegic. I think is the right word, where he has a little bit of movement, maybe like in an arm, but like can't move his legs and stuff like that. I think it was potentially from an accident. But the way that AI is being able to, work with him and all these research and stuff, like and the technology, like he's able to, you know, like play video games by like connecting his brain and his thoughts and his eye, like, and they're very hopeful within 5 to 10 years that they're going to be able, because the nerves and stuff are there, the brain is still sending signals to the toes and everything, they're just physically not moving. They're pretty hopeful that they're going to be able to figure out how to like change something like that with AI being, you know what I mean, used as well. And it's like,
I do want to say on the other side of the coin, and I read articles about this recently, the argument of the scary side of AI is not just they're going to take over everything and humanity will be lost. Like, certainly is obviously a big conversation, but that what people are doing is they're not training AI to say, hey, here's what you should do. They're literally sending AI into the internet to consume everything and to learn. Mm-hmm. And so they're literally hooking a hose up from the internet to AI and saying, go ahead. Well, how do you, the problem with that is, the argument is how do you teach AI to understand that what is truth and what isn't, what is conspiracy theory and what isn't? And so you're getting people like, what if AI starts to learn that, and this is whatever, I don't care what you believe, that the moon landing wasn't real, mm-hmm. that 9/11 was an inside job, that fill in the blank, whatever you want to say, that isn't the norm or has been disproven or whatever. And now AI is just literally your crazy uncle who chain smokes cigarettes and drinks 25, you know what I mean? So like there has to be somebody at the wheel. And if we're just throwing AI out into the internet to consume all the information on there, there's some bad information on the internet. Yeah. And I mean by bad is not just bad, evil. Yes. Bad as in not true.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of the warnings do say, hey, double check your research. You know, AI isn't perfect. It will come back with some stuff. But I think it was Facebook I read something about where they shut down their AI a couple of years ago because it started to create their own language. The AI did or something like that. So it was, I didn't read much of it. It was a little bit of a headline. I don't know how much of a clickbait it was, but I just remember seeing like, okay, I know that's what a lot of people are starting to fear, that it's going to have its own language. It's going to eventually take this, shut down. It wasn't nearly as catastrophic as the movies played it out to be, but there was some interesting stuff starting to happen. When you start seeing like Zuckerberg and all those other people not only getting away from AI or potentially building bunkers, like these guys know things are going to happen before a lot of us. And when they start to do stuff like that, it kind of sends a little bit of some fear, not like an over, like I'm not going to sleep at night fear, but it's like, man, I don't have the kind of money to build a bunker or stock up on this and that. Like if something goes down, I'm probably not going to make it very long. Yeah. But weird to think about, I guess. But, you know, there's people out there that are freeze drying food, saving up, prepping, you know, just in case. I mean, hey, I even saw an article the other day where apparently if you take hard-boiled eggs and pickle them in mustard, that they'll last forever. I'm not
like just like yellow mustard.
Let's see, mustard, pickle. I'm pretty sure I saw that. I don't think I dreamt it. I don't know if I want to eat them, but I'm kind of intrigued. Mustard pickled eggs last forever. Let's see here. How to extend egg season, pickling and freezing. There was something. Where was it? I'll have to. There's Amish pickled eggs.
While you're looking up that, I shared something I wanted to talk about that is kind of similar. I don't know if you saw this story. This is probably about 40 years old, but they found a 50,000-year-old bison frozen in the mountains. It was about, I guess, 1984 is when they found it. And you know what they did to it? They thawed it out, took some of its neck muscle, made it into a stew, and ate it. Yeah. How do you think that tasted? Like, I think there's even a picture. I'm not sure on this article, but there's a picture of what it looked like, of what the soup looked like. Maybe not, I guess. But like, jeez. I don't know how I'd be feeling eating no 50,000-year-old bison's neck stew. For, you know, date that it was probably gone bad was 49,997 years ago.
I don't know about that one. But you're gonna try it though? Like if somebody presented you a 50,000, you know what I mean? What's the worst that's gonna happen if you take a bite? You get some diarrhea. You're probably not gonna die from it, right?
If they gave me a stew that had just like chunks of meat in it, I'd probably try it. I don't want one of the outside bits. I want to make sure that meat's on the inside, you know.
Yeah.
But it was frozen, and it was in a glacier, so it's not like it was like pulled from underground, right? It was frozen, solid.
Yeah, I've ate some stuff from my freezer that was in there maybe a year or so, and it wasn't great. But technically, it didn't make me sick. I'm still here, but 50. I don't know. Isn't that though like a weird thing there's a group of people out there like, we just found this, holy cow, we should eat it. Like, it's not. I have to imagine they're not in an area. What was it, Alaska? I thought I saw, or there was at least something Alaska in that article. I'm like, they're not starving for food. You know what I mean? It's somewhere in, you know what I mean, America. We're thankful. USA, fucking love it. They're not starving for food. You know, like some other places in the world. Why are we eating a 50,000-year-old bison?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get anywhere with the mustard pickled eggs. There is a bunch of stuff though that it does preserve them, but I'm not seeing anything that says they will last forever. I'm assuming the headline was probably some clickbait, but I'll at least show you what apparently these mustard pickled eggs. I mean, they're kind of exactly what you think. I'm assuming this is the palatablepastime.com, and they market these as the Amish pickled mustard eggs. So they cook the eggs in a savory brine for somewhat like deviled eggs, but apparently you put some mustard in them, and then they're all yellow, and I guess they last a lot longer. Am I gonna try it? Nope. Do I love pickled eggs?
I like mustard. I like eggs. Don't know if I would like them if they're like, these are from my grandma as a child.
I'm younger than that bison they found.
Right.
I mean, I've eaten a lot of pickled eggs, and I've eaten scrambled eggs with ketchup on them and stuff. I've never once thought, I think I'm going to pair some mustard with some eggs. Maybe it's good. Maybe, there's probably a reason why some people aren't doing this. But, speaking of mustard goes pretty well with hot dogs. Apparently, on the Body Wrong podcast, I don't know if the boys were just buzzed up the other day, we're going to try to do a July 4th special Body Wrong hot dog eating contest. So if that seems like a bad idea that you potentially want in on, let us know. I think we're going to obviously have the boys, but we might bring on some other people. So I'm sending the first invite to you. Don't have to. The plan was, it's a pretty rough plan, but I think we were going to try to find like an afternoon. Obviously, we're not going to try to crush a bunch of hot dogs at 9 o'clock Eastern time on a Wednesday. We're going to pre-record on a weekend sometime, and I don't know. I don't really want to do it, but I can't really be the guy that's like, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
so is it like a race?
They thought that it would be best to say, all right, we record for an hour, see who can eat the most hot dogs in an hour. Okay. Instead of like, I thought maybe we just do it like 10 minutes, set a 10-minute timer like they do, go to town, and then we have the rest of the show to recover, puke, whatever it is. And I mean, there's a couple of guys that are very confident that they're going to be able to crush 20 or 30 hot dogs. I don't see myself getting much more than 4 to 6. I don't
want to do that.
No,
I'll be there, but I don't want to like.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's not going to be a great time. Like Euban was all pumped, like, yeah, I'm going to do 8. Like I think, and they're all like 8. This is a hot dog eating contest, and one of the guys was on a shot drinking contest to see how many shots they could do within a couple of hours or a night or something like that, and they got into like 30-40 shots. It must have been like a night. It wasn't in an hour podcast. I forget what it was, but an aggressive amount of shots. And I'm like, it's different with alcohol than it is hot dogs. I mean, you're gonna end up twisted, puke, you won't feel great, but it's like you try to eat 70 hot dogs or even 25 like the pros. I mean, you look at the qualifiers, you know what I mean? Like those guys are in the 30s in 10 minutes. That's a lot of food, and they're trained. I don't think it's going to go well.
No, I think my body is not what it used to be when it comes to eating a lot of food like that.
Yeah, even back in the day, like we've done when we were kids, we did the gallon milk chug contest. I don't know if you guys ever tried that. See how long it took you to drink a gallon of milk and you couldn't puke. We did that. We did the deviled egg contest. See how many deviled eggs you could eat. That was brutal. Any of the stuff that we saw on probably VHS. Didn't really have the internet back then, but the Jackass Boys and whatever else was out there. Yeah, we tried them all. They were brutal. The cracker one. Have you ever done the saltine challenge? There's a certain amount of saltines that they say is impossible to do in 60 seconds.
Well, yeah. Do you get water?
Here's the Saltine Challenge. The Saltine Cracker Challenge is a food challenge which you have 60 seconds to eat 6 saltine soda crackers without drinking anything.
Yeah,
We tried that a lot, and we had one buddy who did it. Don't know how he did it, but he did it. And I should bust out. I have it on. I recorded it on an old, probably LG Dare back in the day.
It's a reel to reel. Let me get it going.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird ones. But it all started obviously because Joey Chestnut and his Impossible hot dogs, and now the boys want to do a July 4th hot dog eating contest. So good luck to us. I'm gonna cook 8. I don't know. Even at the at the baseball games they do the 9 for 9, the 999 challenge, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and 9 innings. So you're drinking 9 beers, eating 9 hot dogs in 2.5, 3 hours. That's pretty tough too.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot. Like, I couldn't imagine how I'd feel, especially if you're at a stadium doing this.
Yeah.
Me and my stomach, man, I don't know how many times I'd have to drop one. In those stadium bathrooms, at least, maybe unless you're like in a suite or something, they're not going to get a very high rating on the poop map from me.
Right.
No. Now, if they were potentially interested in doing a pretzel eating contest, maybe we should try to do that. We'll hit up our friends from Milwaukee Pretzels. Know what I should do? I should get the pretzel hot dog buns for it. At least if I'm going to do the hot dog eating contest, I'm going to enjoy them. But I have to imagine when you're eating those delicious pretzel hot dog buns, they're going to be filling. You're not probably going to be able to eat more than 2 or 3, 4 maybe tops, I would have to imagine. There's a lot more density to a pretzel bun than there is and then they got into the argument of which brand, like, do we all have to have the same brand, this and that. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to buy the 99-cent hot dogs for 8 of them.
Right.
Like,
I can see that.
And they're just like, oh, what? Why aren't you going to go for this? Why aren't you going to go for? I'm like, nah, dude, no, not for me. But like I said, you don't have to. Don't feel like you do just because we said it on the show. But if there's anybody out there who's a potential professional eater that wants to show us up, join us, let us know. That'll be embarrassing for us, but fun for you potentially.
But I think it's going to be more fun because you have an hour to do it. So you could do like 6 in the first 5 minutes, and you could take like a 35-minute break, 40-minute break, and then do 3 or 4 or 5 more.
Yeah. I still think it's going to be miserable because I think you're going to get people that are going to eat 15, 20, maybe a little bit more, and they're going to feel like crap.
Oh, yeah.
But hey. So, we were going to do a fun thing potentially where you can pick somebody, and if the right person, you pick the right person or something, we were going to try to give away something funny, and I was like, that just seems like a lot of work. So if Euban or any of the other boys do all that work, I will help push it, but it'll be interesting. My money's on Goot. That dude's an animal. I think he's going to crush a ton of and he's like that in shape guy. So I think he can figure out how to still be in shape, maybe fast before and then just crush a bunch of hot dogs.
Those are the ones that you have to watch out for. Like guys like me who eat a lot anyway, we don't have the ability to like make our stomach go like this. We are always like this.
Yeah.
We can get this much food in us.
And Burley's on the diet, so he's not eating like bread. I think he's only doing an all meat diet or the carnivore diet or something like that. And he's like, so do I have to do buns? And they were all like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, don't ruin your diet. You're down like 50 pounds or something. Like, you're going to ruin it over a hot dog eating contest?
He's going to do that and he's going to shit the bed.
Oh, actually shit the bed.
Yeah, like straight up. Is that coffee in that mug there, buddy?
A little coffee, yeah.
All right, I was going to say it's probably a little too early to... I'm a Diet Coke guy, so I'm right there with you. But
I mean, it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday at the time of the recording. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. But I don't know. This is let's wrap it up. We got things to do, and I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate your time. Euban did text us during the show and said, unfortunately, he is up to multiple kids who are puking. So I feel terrible for the kids, terrible for the parents having to clean it all up. So best of luck to the Wackanovs. getting your children nice and healthy. And it's funny because he texts me, he's like, yep, up to 2 puking. Don't know what they got into. It's almost like when your dogs or your cats are puking. Don't know what they got into, but they're puking. Made me laugh. But either way, Brandon, can't thank you enough. Anybody that's still listening for whatever reason, can't thank you enough. If you guys jump on the Suno, and that's what it's called, Suno, the AI making music, send us some. We'll maybe we'll try to play a viewer submitted AI song once a week, and that'd be fun. And like I said, my profile is public, so if you guys want, just look Beard Laws up on there, and you can listen to the songs that I create every single day that I like and actually make public. And like I said, check out the friends of the show, Copper John's Beard. Go to thebestbeardproducts.com. Check out our friends Milwaukee Pretzels. Love them goddamn pretzels. I got 10 5-ounces coming to me that I just ordered. And check out obviously Vermont Flannel. We love our flannels. Flannel season's coming. Get the lightweight one. And I think that's we got some more. Obviously check out BrandonJMcDermott.com. Buy a book, Abandon Brandon. And if you're like me, they just look good in the collection. You got to remind me. I got to get your book like front and center though. That's what I got to do. I got to put it like right here.
There you go. Or put it next to Steve-O's.
Okay. You want me to put it right here?
Yeah.
Right next to Steve-O and Alex Trebek.
There you go.
I know Steve-O just did a thing on the last podcast where he was doing that exact book on his website. You could get it for a certain amount of them for $9.99. I'm like, son of a bitch. I paid more than that. Still haven't read it yet, but I listened to the first one on audiobook. So I'll have to, hopefully he put the second one out on audiobook. But all right, that's all we got. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll be back next week. Stay out of our fridges, you little rascals. That's all I got. All right, later.
Buckle up tight, it's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets hide. Mysteries of leftovers, the wonders inside. From moldy sandwiches to ancient yogurt jars, we cover